Welcome to Truth and Company Boxing Podcast for another segment of 20 Random Questions. I'm your host, John the Truth Dioria, and today's guest is professional boxer Ryan Shaw. How you doing, Ryan?
Doing good, man. I'm doing excellent.
I appreciate you taking time to come on the show. Let's get right to it. Do you got anything going on? Do you got a fight scheduled?
I'm scheduled for July 2nd here in Nashville, Tennessee, on Country Box. So that'll be my next one coming up.
July 2nd. And when you say Country Box, for the fans that have no idea what you just said or what Country Box is, explain to the fans around the world what Country Box is. It's kind of a new concept. I think it's only been around maybe a year or 2 years. Am I right?
Yeah, probably about a year.
Okay, so kind of give me the breakdown of what Country Box is.
So Country Box is, of course, it's boxing. You got boxing. So with us here in Nashville here being, city for country music, they just combined it the two, and they have live country music performances in between fights, intermissions at the boxing events, just to kind of bring light to the country music aspect of the city, and of course boxing to bring the boxing aspect out here in the city. So it's just pretty interesting.
So now, do they have the performers off on a stage off to the side, and do they perform while in between each fight? Is that how it goes?
Yeah, so they pretty much in between each fight, kind of intermission style. Yeah, it's a stage right behind the ring, so it's a pretty neat setup.
So you're basically getting a boxing match, and you're getting a free concert.
Yeah, boxing match and a free concert.
So now, is it usually just one performer that plays throughout the whole show, or do they rotate performers?
No, it's pretty much just one performer throughout the whole show.
And they just obviously they have quite the pick from down in Nashville. So, I mean, they just get a lot of local talent. Now, is it up-and-coming talent that they usually have on there, or is it bigger names, or?
A little bit of both. They try to set it up, too, for the up-and-coming artists to kind of be seen because it streams through millions of networks, so it's a good opportunity for up and coming artists to get seen.
Okay, and now that's Jimmy Adams. He's the CEO and the promoter now. So you're under that promotion, right?
Yes, sir. I'm under Country Box. I'm under Jimmy Adams. Yes, sir.
Okay, and if anybody needs to know more about what we're talking about, you can check the bottom of my screen there. It's countrybox247.com. You can learn a lot more about it. You can learn the scheduling. You can see fighter photos. You can learn how much it costs you can actually stream it. So if you don't live down in the area and you can't buy a ticket to go to it, you can stream it. So all the extra information that you're going to need to know and the scheduling time and what fighters are fighting is going to be on countrybox247.com. Also, I'm sure if you're a fighter down in the area and you want to get involved with this, definitely reach out to Jimmy Adams on Facebook. I believe his phone number's on there, his email's on there. Reach out to him and let him know that you want to be a part of this and possibly sign with him.
Yeah.
So, all right, I got just a couple more questions before we get to the 20 random. These are just personal questions, and I want to know the answer to. And so there's a boxing family named the Shaw family already in boxing. Stephen Shaw, who's a heavyweight, Winston Shaw, who's his grandfather, who's a trainer, and his father, Brian Shaw, who is an amateur fighter down in the South. Are you related to that family?
No, I'm not. I never knew that. I just learned something today.
Okay, so I wanted to know for sure, and I wanted the fans to know for sure if there was a connection.
I just learned that today.
Well, now I guess you better look into it because you might be.
Yeah, I might be. I never knew it was more Shaws in boxing.
Okay, so and then I got one more. Are you related to the R&B and soul singer Ryan Shaw?
Not at all. I find it kind of funny anytime I Google my name, he pops up too.
So at least we know that one for sure you're not related to.
Yeah, nah, not at all.
But now we don't know about the boxing family. That could be a question mark.
Yeah, it could be. It could be.
Okay, so you're going to have to look into that. You're going to have to get one of those DNA tests done or something. Maybe that's where it's coming from and you're not even aware it. It's already in the genes.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you don't have any other family members that box, do you?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. Well, you ready for these random 20 questions?
Yes, sir.
Okay. question 1: how did you get involved in the sport of boxing?
I just wanted to learn how to box. I just wanted to do something different. I grew up playing basketball. I was like, hey, I want to try something different, use it as a coping mechanism. Went to the gym, and boom, the one thing led to another.
So it was that simple. You just woke up one morning and said, I'm just going to go to the gym. I already know where a local gym is. And you just walked in the door and that was it?
Yeah, I had a friend that I had ran into, and knew he got into boxing, and I was like, hey, where do you train? And he gave me the gym. I just went to the gym. Was like, hey, I just want to learn how to box. And
So you were already pretty athletic because you were already playing other
yeah,
sports.
I played basketball, so yeah, which that actually helped out once I really started getting into boxing.
Okay. All right. Question 2: what's the best advice you've ever gotten from another boxer and who was it?
Best advice I ever gotten from another fighter. Uh, Fighters fight. That was the best advice. Fighters fight. That's what they do. And I got that from Jerome Coffey. Jerome Coffey. He's been around a solid amateur and a solid pro here
Nope.
now.
I actually know who
Yeah.
Jerome is. So
Yeah, Jerome Coffey told me fighters fight.
are you
And
in the gym with Jerome?
I used to be. I used to be in the gym with Jerome.
Okay. All right. Question 3: what's something that you're very passionate about besides the sport of boxing?
I'm passionate about learning about other cultures, learning about why people believe in what they believe in, why they think the way they think, why they move the way they move. I'm very passionate about learning about different people and different cultures.
Okay. And you're into your faith quite a bit yourself, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Question 4: what boxers have inspired you in your career?
Uh, Boxers that inspired me in my career. I love Ricardo Lopez. I love Sugar Ray Leonard, and of course Floyd Mayweather.
Okay. All right. Question 5: are you artistic in any way with your hands outside the sport of boxing, as far as like building things, painting, drawing, photography, mechanics, anything like that?
I would say with the iPhone, I'm a pretty good photographer. What I've been told, but jobs, I've always done a lot of hands-on work, so I'm very handsy. I'm a very handsy person. So
Now, you
yeah.
just said with an iPhone. Now, I've seen pictures of you on social media with a professional camera around your neck. So, do
Oh
you?
yeah, when I was traveling, when I used to travel, I took some pretty nice pictures that I feel like I could send off and get them put on postcards.
I mean,
I took some really nice pictures.
yeah. So, you actually own a professional camera.
I was actually using that one. I really want to buy me one, but I was just using that one, and I went back and looked at the pictures. Like I took some really nice pictures.
Okay, so that's something you might want to pursue then.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Question 6: can you tell me an interesting story so far out of your boxing career? Anything?
Interesting story. Hmm. I'd say for me, I never really knew how professional boxing worked until I got into it. Like fights just falling out at the weigh-in, the opponent's not showing up and things like that. I just never knew that was a thing. Like you could have a fight Saturday and Friday, you no longer have one. I never knew that was a thing. As crazy as that might sound, I never knew that was a real thing.
And how many times has that happened to you?
So 2023, I just lost count at how many fights fell through. I never knew this was a thing.
There's a
Never
lot
knew
of
that.
things behind the scenes that fans
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah, so that's just interesting to me is that you can have a fight Saturday and no longer have one Friday.
And what is even worse is a lot of times that boxer that falls out last minute, unless he can prove it was a medical issue or something with paperwork, they don't even. I mean, there's nothing you can do to them.
Nothing happened.
You don't. You lose your money because you're not fighting. You don't get your money. You were standing there. You weighed in, and I
Yeah.
mean, there's no consequences. I mean, it should be. I don't know. I mean, I guess every situation is different, but there needs to be more of a structure where these guys get consequences so they can't continuously do this, or eventually they just get pushed out of the sport.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
All right, question 7: why do you box?
I box because I love it, man. It's the rush of just training for a fight. The rush when you just walking out, when you get into the ring, when you meet in the middle of the ring with the opponent and the referees going over their instructions. Just that rush, man. Like, I love it. I love the sport of boxing. It's humbled me and it's taught me discipline in so many other areas in my life. So I love it, man.
Okay, question 8. Who has been your favorite opponent so far in your career that you fought?
My favorite opponent. My last opponent. That's been my favorite opponent so far. He
And
was
what was his name?
His name was Andre Donovan. He was really rough and rugged, and it was a great experience fighting somebody that just comes nonstop, and no matter what it takes, he's gonna try to get the job done. I enjoyed that experience.
Okay. Question 9. What is your proudest moment of your boxing career to this point?
This point was signing with Country Box, signing with Jimmy Adams. That was the proudest moment. That was the proudest moment because right before I signed with him, I was like, man, it seems like nothing is working out. And all of a sudden, hey, I want to help you. I want to sign you. So that's the proudest moment so far as signing with Country Box.
Okay, and tell me about that a little bit. Signing with them guys. How has it been? How I mean, like how have they taken care of you? Things like that, just so
Oh,
other fighters can hear this.
yeah, man, sponsors just came through, for meals. People sending me gloves, trunks for the fight, shoes. Then just I've only had 2 fights with Country Box, but those 2 fights have like people are starting to notice who I am, and they really care. They care about me as a fighter and me as Ryan Shaw. So it's a blessing, man. I love the way my career is going right now under Country Box and Jimmy Adams and Ashley Adams, his wife. I love him. I love it.
So it sounds like people, boxers that want to get involved in this down south or wherever, that it sounds like Jimmy Adams is a good CEO, good promoter. He
Yeah,
takes care of his fighters, looks out for them. Very fair man. Is that true to
yeah,
say?
yeah. He's really fair. He's really fair, and he's very understanding. And he communicates. I love working with them. I love it.
Well, I mean that's a nice shout out right there to more boxers in the South or whatever that are looking for a decent promoter that will take care of them, help them out, help their career grow. Like I said earlier in the interview, reach out to Jimmy Adams, CEO, promoter of Country Box, 247.com if you guys are interested. I mean, obviously he can't take everybody, but I mean, I'm sure he's always looking for new talent to put on his shows. And if you guys are looking for a great promoter, and he can always use, some more fighters, I mean, who knows what can happen with your career. So, I mean, this is an opportunity, and it's definitely worth reaching out. And, the worst the guy's going to say is no.
Yeah, and it's a good opportunity because the fight stream on USA Today now, so it's everybody has a chance to see, the talent that you as a fighter have. So it's definitely a great opportunity.
Okay. All right. Question 10. Who are some of the musical artists that you listen to when you train?
I listen to a lot of Bob Marley when I train. Listen to a lot of old school '90s West Coast rap. I love the '90s West Coast rap. So of course, like Tupac, of course, NWA. Listen to a lot of Above the Law. Just any of those guys, man. I love Ice Cube, of course. I love Scarface. Just those old '90s guys, man. Nas, just everybody's '90s, man. And I listen to a lot of jazz too, like just to calm my mind down, like before fights and stuff. I listen to a lot of jazz and just slow music, man.
Okay. Question 11. If you were on death row, what would be your last meal?
A cheese pizza. I love cheese pizza. A cheese pizza. I could eat cheese pizza every day.
I bet you Jimmy doesn't like you eating it when you're training, though.
Nah, yeah, I don't. When I'm training, I that's the only thing I miss is cheese pizza when I'm training for a fight. I miss it.
All right, question 12. If you got into a street fight with 3 guys, what 2 boxers or UFC fighters would you choose to be on your side to fight with?
I would choose, and this may sound crazy. First one I would choose is Oliver McCall because he would fight anybody. Oliver McCall would fight anybody. So I take Oliver McCall and Kimbo Slice.
That's a good one. I didn't even think of that. Yeah, there you go.
Rest in peace.
That was two original answers. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
All right, question 13. Who is the hardest puncher you've ever faced in the ring in a fight or sparring?
Hardest puncher. Uh, that's a good question. So it's an amateur here named Nicholas Walsh. And that kid is hard. He's an amateur. He is hard. He is
No,
very hard.
that's not Ali's grandson you're talking about, is it?
Nah, that's crazy. I
Oh.
didn't even think of that.
Okay.
Yeah, I never thought. Yeah, it has the same name as his grandson. But yeah, Nicholas Walsh is probably one of the hardest hitters I've sparred. Yeah.
Okay. All right, question 14. If you had a chance to work with any trainer, boxing trainer in the world, who would it be?
It's a good one. Probably say Emmanuel Stewart.
Okay, well, obviously he's passed away right now, but I mean,
just right now, now.
Yeah. If you could just, I mean, it wouldn't be necessarily permanent because I'm not trying to, say to leave your trainer or anything. I'm just saying if you had an opportunity to work with a bigger name trainer, who would you want to, learn something from?
Right now, either Calvin Ford or Bomac.
Okay, that's
Haile Selassie, the president of Ethiopia. I mean, he's passed, but yeah, I would love to sit down and talk to Haile Selassie.
Okay. I'm curious because that seemed to be an answer out of nowhere. I'm curious why you chose that person.
Yeah, just because just the Ethiopian culture, I love it, and just what he stood for. He was, big on the whole Rastafarian movement. So I would just want to talk to him about that, just the whole Rastafarian movement.
Okay. Question 16. So speaking of that, I know you've traveled quite a bit.
Yeah.
Whether it was for boxing or just personal or whatever, I know you've kind of been around the world a little bit. So question 16, where is the best place you have traveled to?
The best place, I would say Beijing. I had a lot of fun in Beijing. Beijing was probably one of the best trips I've had.
Okay. And how long were you there?
I was there for like maybe 4 days. I was in Japan for 3, then flew from Japan to Beijing and stayed for like 4 days. And Beijing was really cool.
So now, was that just a personal trip, or did it have something to do with boxing?
Most of the trips overseas were just personal. I just wanted to go because I wanted to learn.
Okay. Let's see. Question 17. What is something that your boxing fans don't know about you?
Something that my boxing fans don't know about. That's a good question. I guess I would say I can dance pretty good.
Okay, now what? Now, when you say dance, let's get specific. What kind of dance?
Like hip hop dancing.
Okay.
I can dance. So I grew up at the Boys and Girls Club, and we used to have a dance class, and we used to compete in talent shows. That's kind of where it came from.
So now break it down even farther. Is it like break dancing?
Nah, I wish I could do that. My dad used to be a really good break dancer. That didn't pass on to me. But no, I can't break dance. At least I don't think I can.
Okay. So just hip hop.
Yeah. Just yeah.
Okay. Question 18. So do you watch a lot of movies or TV at all? What movie or TV series could you watch multiple times?
Favorite movie, Shawshank Redemption. I could watch that multiple times. That's my favorite movie.
Okay. All right. Question 19. Like we said, you've been kind of all over the world a little bit. So what is the weirdest thing you have ever eaten?
Weirdest thing I've ever eaten. And China. Like I said, that was the funnest trip. They had on the strip you could eat like fried crickets and stuff like that. So I was just trying all kind of bugs. It was like roaches, it was crickets, it was just a lot of bugs that were edible. So
You tried a roach?
yeah, it it could, well, they had like season on it, so I can't say it didn't taste like a roach or it did taste like a roach.
So last question, question 20. Do you have any boxing superstitions?
Boxing superstitions. Sorry. Do I?
I mean, most boxers do have some. Like, do you have to eat the same meal? Do you put on the same glove all the time? Do you have to put on the same wrap?
Uh,
Do you wear the same boxers when you fight? Do you wear the same socks? Different
yeah.
things like
So
that.
yeah, I try to, and I wash my clothes before I say this. I try to wear the same compression shorts each fight.
Okay.
I try to wear the same compression shorts and get my hair braided each fight. That's that's the go-tos.
All right. Well, listen, I appreciate you taking time to come on and do the 20 random questions. If there's anything you want to say about your fight again or say something to the fans before we go ahead.
You can just, of course, social medias. Facebook is Ryan Shaw. Instagram is the Real Shaw Time, and TikTok is the Real Shaw Time. So yeah, just my social medias. Just follow me and just keep in contact with me about fights and everything. Just see
And
my
now
life.
you said your fight is June 2nd. Is that when it is?
July
Oh,
2nd.
July 2nd. Now, do
Yeah.
you know who your opponent is yet or no?
No, not yet. Not yet.
Okay. So for all the information, the fans can go on your pages on Ryan Shaw. They can also go on, once again, to
Yeah.
countrybox247.com and find out all the information about Ryan Shaw's fight and everybody else's fights.
Yes, sir.
All right. Hold on. And with that, the truth has spoken.